Okay, so here's the deal. Not a really big Mac Miller fan over here, right? Me, but at the same time, my friend Sam, he is a big Mac Miller fan. So I couldn't not make a reaction video on this because it's such a big momentum in history of music, pretty much. Mac Miller, like one of the biggest names in music that unfortunately who passed away. Rest in peace. And now let's listen to this Posthumous album together. Sam is gonna be the emotional boost. That video.
Suck. I'm not ready. I'm absolutely not ready.
Yeah. So this video needed that emotional boost because I'm really neutral on Mac Miller, but I'm also ready to listen to this album. I'm, let's say, excited. Yeah. But yeah. Just let's do it, I guess. Right.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything else to say, like about?
I mean,
Mac?
just it's crazy because a year ago Mac Miller was alive and well, and now it's not. And I mean, I usually have an issue with posthumous albums like this because usually they're kind of like cash grabs, and just I mean the way they treated X's music was disgusting.
Yeah.
Was really, I mean, how many albums did they drop? Like three or more albums, a bonus album, a fucking, was it Members Only Volume 3, which was fucking garbage. I mean, if you're gonna treat it like that, then I'd rather you not.
Yeah.
But I feel like this album and a lot of other people that I've seen have thought the same, has been treated in a different way where it's been prepared by his family, and it was an album that he actually almost completed, which was supposed to be a continuation of Swimming, so Swimming in Circles, because the album's name is called Circles.
Yeah.
And the producer actually finished up what he could, and it's not like X's they're taking like 5-second samples and making a song out of it. Like it was legitimately almost an album, and it feels like this is his last body of work that we're gonna get. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of emotional.
This reminds me of Avicii actually.
Yeah.
Who dropped the last album as well, posthumous album, but he almost finished that body of work as well.
And that was his last album as well.
And it was a great album. So let's see.
I hope this one is too.
Yeah.
Hope this one is too. All right.
Let's do it. Mac Miller, Circles. First reaction. Let's go.
All right. Track 1 is called Circles. Style he kind of moved into in Swimming, which was really different from his previous stuff.
Well, I drink my whiskey, you sip your wine. We're through a while sitting watching the world falling down its decline.
Well, this reaction is going to be the most exciting.
Well, as long as it's good music, I mean, we're going to be good. As long as we express our opinions on it.
Right.
We will be Sean C today.
So, well, it's kind of, I mean, you haven't heard the single yet, so I'm not going to speak on it, but it's kind of crazy how aware he was of kind of the place that he was mentally. And it's because for us it was so weird when he died because Swimming was supposed to be, I'm better now. It was like, okay, now I used to be drowning, now I'm swimming.
Yeah.
That's a lyric in one of the songs.
Yeah. And
we were like, that's so crazy because he just released his album, which was like, all right, I'm good now, I'm getting healthy, I'm clean, and then he OD'd.
Yeah.
Which was super crazy, but with the concept of this album, it's supposed to add on to like, psych, I wasn't swimming, I'm swimming in circles. Okay, now I'm back to where I started. And it's kind of, I mean, even this song, like, it's kind of like he's talking to people around him and be like, alright bro, you do you don't know what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And he's literally saying, they don't know what I'm feeling. But you can do you, like don't worry about me. And it's crazy because this was the last thing he ever recorded. Alright, track 2 is Complicated. Okay.
That's way too long, I'll just get through the day without any complications.
Different style for him.
like it though. It's fun.
Inside my head is getting pretty cluttered.
Damn, bro. It's too young to be getting old.
Can you pause it for a second? I actually really like the song, the second song, the Complicated. Maybe because it was a different style, but I was imagining like with the instrumental, the low. You know how like the lo-fi hip hop has the like background with sun, like or sunset or something like it. It's a pleasant vibe. I'm just excited to sort of like come back to it actually and listen to it and drive around with that song. I don't know, it's just the instrumental.
Like a chill.
Yeah.
Just drive around.
Yeah, but I don't know about the lyrics, to be honest.
I mean, it's crazy because I feel like I can't take this album like it's supposed to be taken because he's dead. Because there's so many things like he's saying, oh, he's too young to be getting old. He just wishes every day would be less complicated. Like, why does everything have to go wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird because in a different context, it would be just an album of someone just legitimately just talking about themselves and their experiences and just the things that they're feeling. But right now, it just feels like it's kind of like a forecast of what is to come. It obviously wasn't.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's weird to me. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the beat, I couldn't see it as a happy beat.
Well, yeah, makes sense with what he's saying.
Right, and I mean it's very Mac Miller to put on a happy beat and then say some depressing shit, but that's Mac. So.
Actually, do you have milk?
Yeah.
Can I have it? Cause like, I need to calm my throat. It's
yeah,
really,
I get you. Are you want me to stop recording or leave?
Just leave it.
What's up? He got some milk.
Yeah. Well, then why was she's like, oh Maria.
Track 3, Blue World. I like that barbershop quartet.
Okay.
Man, world have made me
That's
crazy.
more like it, Mac Miller.
Don't be afraid, don't fall. Think I lost my mind. Reality so hard to find. When the devil trying to call your line.
Fuck with that song so much, bro.
Yeah. Oh, so there's that famous track, the Good News, that you almost cried to.
This one's
Fantano cried.
This one is dead, bro. I can't. This one is too much for me. But that song was actually a happy song. It was actually a happy song. So yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, shit's hard. I don't do that stuff. Don't worry about it. Just chill out. Don't trip.
Yeah.
Don't trip.
Are we ready to listen to the Good News?
Yeah, this song.
I don't know.
This song with the music video is even worse. Or not worse as in bad, but worse as in it will kill you. But yeah.
I haven't watched anything or heard.
I don't know how much this will hit you if you don't like listen to the lyrics super close.
Well, I'll try. Maybe I will actually pull it up.
And it's a good song too, like outside of the meaning.
Yeah.
Good News, track 4. This was the single.
Instead of always trying to figure everything out, and all I do is say sorry. Good news, that's all they wanna hear. No, they don't like it when I'm down. And there's a whole lot more for me waiting. And there's a whole lot more for me waiting.
The reason why this song is so fucking crazy is because if you know Mac Miller, or at least you know about Mac Miller, you know that he was like the life of underground rap. Or like at least a lot of less known rappers, Earl Sweatshirt, people like Absol, he put those people on because that's what he did. He was part of the community. And the way that everybody talks about Mac Miller is that, oh, he's here for all of us. He's like this kind of leading figure in this whole thing. But in this song, the way he's talking about the people that are around him, I don't know necessarily who he's talking about, but it's like they don't know who he is. They don't know how he's feeling, and he feels shut off. He says, "Oh, I heard they don't talk about me anymore." Like he's irrelevant. And he's pretty much, and like I said, the reason this song is so crazy is because he's pretty much talking about how it's better when he's gone. Like, there's more for him on the other side, because no one wants to hear about his true, like, how he's feeling. They just want to hear him say good news.
Yeah.
Like, alright, this happened, like, you're good now, things are happy. But they don't want to hear about how he's sad, because I guess that makes sense. If you're the leading figure, no one expects you to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand, and just the way that this song just fits into what happened is, it's just, it feels like it's future telling, you know? It feels like it was planned. You know it's not planned. But it feels like he was ready. It's just kind of trippy, I guess.
Yeah.
Just to hear him talking about, because it feels like this album was made after. It feels like he's kind of addressing what happened, but it wasn't. It was made before it happened, and it's just, I don't know. That's why this song gets so many people, because it's like he's sending a message back to us, like it's better for me now. Back then, like,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope. I mean, we don't know, like, if heaven exists or not.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's there.
Yeah, I hope so too. He deserves it.
Next
Track
song?
5, I Can See, which is weird because in, what was it, Complicated, he said, I try to see but I can't, or something.
Yeah.
Really synth wave kind of. A lot of these songs are super synthy, like disco, not really disco, but like 70s, 80s vibe. Yeah.
So close I can taste it. The man on the moon keep playing.
It's a good song. I Can See, really good song and really beautiful. It's a good album actually.
Yeah.
Really good album.
I mean, and this song is kind of a little more chill, I guess. Just saying if life is just but a dream, then so are we. So just, I feel like there's a theme in this, which is pretty much, just don't worry about it. You know, just life is life. And if you worry about the particulars, then you're never gonna be happy. You're never gonna enjoy anything. Everything's gonna be stressful. And if life is just a dream, then why do you care, you know? Just like enjoy it and show me something, like do something that'll amaze us both, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of just doing what you're told to do and what society tells you to do and just moving along with your day, then just make your day something that you'll remember.
To be honest, good advice.
Very
actually
good
needed to hear that.
Definitely. This song is called Everybody, track 6.
Everybody's gotta lose. And everybody's gonna die.
Same shit again, bro. Live your life. Everybody's gotta live, everybody's gotta die. Just have a good time. And you know why you want to do it, so. Yeah. Thoughts?
Nothing to say.
Nothing.
To be honest.
Alright. That's halfway through. And now we got track 7, which is called Woods.
Things like this ain't built to last. I might just fade like those before me. Days and the days, better wake up. I put your face in the place where the space was. Nobody make you feel like you were. I keep it safe, it's in the vault. Blindfolded, keep it going till we hit a wall. Can I get enough?
So far, no bad songs at all. Pretty beautiful instrumentation on every single
It's
song.
really environmental and kind of building a scene and like a setting for the album, or like just like a place to be in when you're listening to it, you know what I'm saying? Like it sets a mood and a setting and puts you in the I guess like the mind state to hear what he's trying to say. That song, I don't know exactly. I kind of missed some of what it was saying, but I think it was talking about a girl or like at least someone he cares about, they wouldn't, or at least some of the lyrics was like, oh, why can't you forget my past, stuff like that. And then he was like, what is it, do I love, I think he was saying.
I think so. To
And
be
then,
honest,
can I get enough?
Mhm.
So like, I mean, I don't know if it is, but it sounds like something with maybe like an Ariana Grande or someone that they were pretty much in love, but because of his toxic behavior or like alcoholism and it kind of went different ways because she said, oh, I can't be your caretaker.
Might be Ariana actually.
It could be, which is like, why can't you forget my past, stuff like that. And the way he's saying, because he kind of turns it where he says, do I love, can I get enough? Like, is he the toxic one in the relationship? Like, is it his turn to kind of give back instead of just keep taking, which is something that you could kind of, I don't know, I mean, we obviously don't know the ins and outs of the relationship, but just from general knowledge, you could kind of see that it was more of a one-way thing, just because of his habits and his lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, I'm not sure, but I think that kind of is what he was talking about. If not with her, then with somebody. Yeah.
To be honest, like always with Mac, I had this issue of like he speaks in a certain way that I cannot understand.
Especially when he's singing like this. Which is another thing I was thinking about earlier. Is I make music as well, and you kind of, there are some emotions you can't really let out with just rapping. And it's so weird because Mac Miller used to be straight up rapper, and then on Divine Feminine, he started singing and everyone was talking shit like, oh, your singing sucks, it sucks, it wasn't that bad. But, and then swimming, he went a lot into singing, still rapping, but this album is majority singing.
Right.
So it feels like he's trying to get this emotion out of him that you couldn't necessarily get out through just straight rapping.
Right.
Like something you just need to like let your soul out and just sing. And a lot of these songs are like that. When he sings, he talks like that. That's why he reminded me.
Yeah.
Like he has this like weird way of saying words, which you can't really understand unless you actually listen really closely. And even like I didn't know some of the stuff he was saying either. I have to go back and listen again. Hand Me Downs, track 8.
I'm thinking maybe I should thank you. Oh baby, I should buy you another round. To hunt me down. It's likely that might be, but you remind me that I need to stay in line. You damn.
Alright, next song is That's On Me.
That's on me. That's on me. I know. Don't say goodnight.
It feels like those 3 songs, from Woods to That's On Me, feel like kind of they're connected together. Whether whoever he's talking to, obviously can't be sure, but he's taking blame. He's describing himself as like not perfect. His screws are loose, or he's losing screws, something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and obviously in the third one he's just taking blame for everything. It's all his fault. It's weird because you gotta have a certain mind state. It feels like at this point, he's come to peace with everything. He's taking blame and he's saying, alright, time to move on. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't like saying that it was a plan for him to continue, because obviously you shouldn't say that ever. And from what you can tell, the thing that killed him was someone else's fault. Because of, you've heard about the trials, no?
Not really.
The dealer knew that the drugs were laced.
I didn't know that.
So that they're in trial. There's like 2 or 3 people on trial for his murder, pretty much.
Mm.
But it feels, and if it wasn't planned, it just feels like he was ready, and he was done with this earth, and he was just getting. At least with this album, he's kind of putting everything to rest and saying, "All right, I'm sorry to everyone I wronged. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm just gonna keep going and see what's next." You know.
Damn. That's pretty sad.
Yeah. So.
Never-
And it's crazy because, I mean, I'm going to wait till the end of the album to say what I was going to say, but, yeah.
I'm looking at this beautiful picture of Ariana Grande.
Yeah, which is, I was looking at it earlier thinking how ironic it was that there's a poster right behind us right now.
Yeah, well, we'll show it like when the album is over. But there's a person, I mean, I told you about her, who is also a big Mac Miller fan, and it felt like, I mean, we talked about this issue with Ariana Grande and stuff, and even if she didn't really want to blame Ariana Grande like for his death, still like there's this like she caused him like all this trouble, like the trauma, like
Right.
the
I mean, it's
heartbreak and stuff like
understandable
that.
because, I mean, the way that at least he talks about her, it's like he was totally in love with her.
Mhm.
And imagine the person you're totally in love with being like, yeah, this is too toxic of a relationship. Okay, it's over.
But at the same time, I mean,
It's not her fault.
yeah,
You can't blame her for it.
yeah,
But it definitely is a reason. I mean, he went clean after that.
Mhm.
No alcohol, no drugs. Or at least he said he did. I'm not
Mm.
sure if it's true. But, yeah, because he was the kid who was always high. 100%, like 24/7, he was always high.
Mhm.
For a long time. And then he was like, yeah, this is the first time I've been sober like this for like 10 years. When he
Yeah.
was on the Beats One interview
Mhm.
with, what's his name?
Zane Love.
Yeah. So imagine, like, there's a reason. Something has to happen for you to change your life that much.
Yeah.
And you can, I mean, you obviously can't be sure, but people can attribute that. I mean, obviously there are things going on in his life that we don't know about.
Mhm.
You don't really know much about these celebrities as much as you think you do.
Yeah.
But I think you can attribute part of it at least to that, and obviously in the way he's talking about some person, you can also assume that he's talking about her. Once again, no idea
Yeah.
if it's true, but
But like, my point is like, let's say if he's talking about her, the name that shall not be named, but like basically Ariana Grande, she, it feels like he's telling us that yes, I mean, he's taking the blame.
Yeah.
You cannot really blame only Ariana.
right. I mean, I
You know
don't
what I'm
think you can
saying?
blame
So
her. I
people-
don't think you can even blame her.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I mean, like the people who even were blaming her, like after listening to the songs, maybe they will realize, oh, like
No way.
you know, like there's
Those
just-
people are stupid. No one that has their right mind would ever blame her in the first place. That's ridiculous.
Mm.
But yeah, hopefully. I mean, and yeah, he's pretty much saying that he's the problem,
Yeah.
which is kind of sad.
Mm.
But it could partially be true. And in that case, you could see what he means.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Okay. Track 10.
Alright, track 10 is called Hands. Interesting sample.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't need no chauffeur from the back seat. No, I stay behind the wheel and never have speed. I spent my life living with a lot of regrets.
It's a lot of introspection. A lot of like talking about himself. If he was on his high horse, got on his high horse, he would die because he's so high up. And he thinks so much. I mean, he says he thinks so much of himself. Yeah, he said he lives his life with a lot of regrets. Just like, it's so, I don't know, it's just so surreal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's looking back on himself
Mm-hmm.
from the whatever afterlife or whatever it is. It's like he's looking back on what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
what he did. He's apologizing. He's saying, I'm here. Don't worry about me. now he's like, I was this, I was that.
Yeah.
I feel bad about it. Second to last song is 5 minutes 30 seconds. It's called Surf.
Hey, I know we try, and the days they go by until we get home. There's water in the flowers, let's grow. Until we get home, there's water in the flowers, let's grow.
That was the best song.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was insane. Once again, about somebody that he wants to be with. He wants to go up and never come down. Because why would he come down? And then throughout the song, as time goes on, he gets to the point where he says, oh, I think it's time. It's better for me to just leave and never come back. And it's just, it's like,
All ties into it.
I feel, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I've already said it.
Yeah.
I don't want to repeat myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was crazy. That one hit me hard. But yeah. All right.
Once a day.
One more song. Once a Day, track 12.
Once a day I rise, once a day I fall asleep with you, and everybody means something when they're stuck on your mind.
That was the last new Mac Miller song we're ever gonna hear.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know for sure.
But probably. At least something that was made by him for him. And not a feature. And if it was, I don't think respectfully anyone should release any features unless they're given complete permission. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. It feels weird, bro. It's like, it's such an example of how evil and horrible the world is, because Mac Miller was the happiest fucking kid on the planet. Like, I don't know, when he started, all his music was just happy and just like dumb, stupid shit. And then as time went on, and then when he dropped Watching Movies Without the Sound On, was a lot of talk about depression. And that was now 4 albums ago. It's crazy. I mean, through your music you're supposed to be your therapist.
Right.
But obviously it wasn't enough. And it's just, Divine Feminine was a switch back, kind of. I guess Ariana Grande brought more happiness into his life. But then from there we all knew what happened to him. I mean, he kind of went downhill, and Swimming was like, I'm okay again. And obviously Swimming now has new meaning. But this one just felt like a goodbye note. The whole thing. And it's weird to see how someone who used to be that person could come to be this person. That is just so, like, he could make a whole album about how he's stuck in his head and that he was apologizing for everything and people don't care anymore. And to be his last work, and meaning that he died thinking this stuff. So this album is, I don't think I'm ever gonna see it the same way, just because he's not here anymore. Yeah, I mean, every time I listen to it, I'm gonna be reminded of that fact. So I don't know. Like, I don't even think it's fair to give it a rating.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about rating. You were talking about how happy it was, and then it went downhill. It just kind of remind me like that I should be happier. Like, cause like for me, like it's also now kind of like going down.
Yeah.
It's just I should live my life to the fullest, because I remember myself like being so like a happy kid and stuff. Now it's just like for a few years it's not like that.
Right. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's easier said than done. To go to just be like, all right, let me just be happy. Like, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, and fucking depression is an epidemic in this country right now. That no one knows how to fix it, how to deal with it. It's not. If you go to a doctor, they'll be like, just go to a psychiatrist, go to a mental hospital. Like, no one knows how to fix it. And I mean, the way that the state of the world right now is just almost impossible to not be part of it. You just something needs to find a way, and it's just because of the fast-paced nature of the world. I mean, the way he was saying, why are we so fast? Why don't we slow down and enjoy it a little bit?
Right.
And it's so because it feels like he had it figured out. Right? He knew how to live. He was just too tired to do it.
Right.
He was just too tired of everything up until that point. And he's kind of giving us advice like, don't be like me, do these things so maybe you don't end up like I ended up.
That's crazy.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy.
Story actually. I mean, I went to London, right? And we haven't talked about like what I've been doing there that much. Remember, like we were all in Rancho Bernardo High School, and there was this girl. She used to be my friend in RB, and then she went back to London. She is a Londoner. She was born in London. She lives super close to Emirates Stadium. She's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes, she like sees Arsenal coaches all the time. The players is really cool. But we were talking about how like she had a depressing time in America actually. She couldn't fit in, and there was even like bullying happening, which is interesting. I don't remember like bullying that much in R&B, but okay. I mean, she experienced that, and she came back to London, and it was much better. Like because she understood people more. She was like having much better connections here, there in London. And she's just really happy. She found her love, great job, friends. But I'm saying this because maybe it's more about America, like you said, epidemic in this country rather than the whole world. I feel like we need to, instead of like this individualistic approach in this country, like just be in the community more, like be actually supportive of each other more, and just like, be in it together,
right,
rather than by ourselves.
Yeah, and live more for the now than to prepare for later. Because preparing for later, yeah, you may have a life in the future, but if you don't get to the future, then what the fuck was the point?
Yeah.
And we can see that happening here. So I mean, Mac Miller lived a life that most people would want to live in a heartbeat. Like, they'd be like a rich rapper, millionaire, fucking lives his life like that. But how many times do you hear celebrities talking about how horrible their life is? Like him, but Bozzy had a whole album where he was talking about just Hollywood, and he just got into it. Like, he's not even a veteran. It's been out a couple of years.
True. And we know, I mean, Selena Gomez don't really talk about it that much in music, but I mean, we know how difficult her life is,
right,
like for her. Demi Lovato.
And yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, and that's the people that we're trying to be.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And it's like, and it's everyone's the same. The money and all that stuff doesn't help anybody. We're in the same spot that he is. He might be worse, or R.I.P. was worse. Just because having those things separates you from everyone else. At least now that we're poor, everyone else is poor too. So we have kind of a community of people to relate to us. But once you get to that point, then you're one of a million, and now you're by yourself. And who can you trust when you have money? I don't know how much of this you're gonna leave in, but yeah.
Okay.
The album
The
Circles.
album is good though.
Really good album. definitely gonna go back to it, and I don't think there was a song where I would say that I wouldn't listen to it. But
Yeah.
definitely Surf was my favorite. Yeah.
I don't have favorites, to be honest. It's hard, but it is a good album, though. I never thought, oh, okay, this song is not good.
Right, I agree with you, 100%. That's the mastery of Mac Miller musically.
That's good.
Still a legend in all our hearts.
And props to the producer, actually, who completed this body of work.
Yeah, we'll put the name on later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad we could listen to this. I'm glad we got the opportunity to hear this. And he didn't just stop releasing. Obviously not by his choice, but his family didn't decide to just not release anything. I'm glad they gave us something to kind of say goodbye, and this was perfect for that. So,
that's true,
yeah.
Yeah, well, hit the like button, I guess, if you like this video. Subscribe to this channel if you're here for the first time. Welcome to Music with Bob. And thank you, Sam. It was a great, it was a pleasure to work with you once again, and this album. I'm glad that you elaborated on this perfectly, gave the good opinions, and yeah, analyze it well. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys in the next ones. Thanks for listening. Oh, and let me just show you like all these beautiful posters this man has, starting from Ariana Grande. We were looking at her, and then there are our legends pretty much. Kanye, Drake, and Mac Miller, of course, 2 times.
2 times.
Appropriate for the album. And yes, thank you so much, and peace.